Hello there, my name is Blattymeow. Welcome to another Let's Play. This time we have Salt and Sanctuary. And as standard with most games, we got a bit of cutscene and prologue and a boss fight already, actually. And so I'll see you guys on the other side. I think I'm just gonna choose the guild that no. Goddess of Light, that is not what I ever would choose, but you get access to one of the weapons that we're going to be using for the build I planned for this playthrough. Yeah. Achievement. Okay. So this is Salt and Sanctuary, and to describe it in a nutshell, it is Dark Souls and Castlevania mixed together in a two-dimensional format. And that is an excellent combination, mind you. Now, the boss that you saw was a prologue tutorial boss that you're destined to lose at. It's very obvious that's what it was. And the chip damage that you do with the dagger, I actually wanted to get hit, but since I got so close, I just kept going with it. I'm definitely going to fast forward that, because it's just all a bunch of bullshit. But I did get close. Now, something about this game is doesn't explain a lot, and I appreciate that. At the same time, it comes off a little bit too intentional. We'll get to that as we go further into the game, but for now, let's claim the sanctuary for Daria, or whoever's Earthen Light. Yeah, not my sanctuary, but... So, basically, I don't want to keep saying that this is Dark Souls and compare to what this is. Like, this is a bonfire in Dark Souls. That's kind of dumb. It's taken away from the game. Yes, it is very obvious it took direct inspiration. I mean direct inspiration from Dark Souls. But the reason I'm Let's Playing this game is that it is done in such an original manner and in such a very polished manner that I have to give it that it's its own standalone game. So we're going to talk about things in the game's language and not in other games. So now we are in the soft, calming, tranquil music of the shrine, and you hear that when you find a shrine. And unlike other games, getting to shrines is not as breathing a sigh of relief. It's actually pretty expected, and they're in very convenient spots, which is unlike. So we can't level up, we can't do anything. We need salt to ascend, that's our experience points, and gold is standard currency. The tree of skill, we can't do anything until we level up, and to make an offering we need certain items. So right now all we can do is kind of restore and save. And one cool thing is that you see is Water of Blessing. Now to explain that, that's an Estus flask, and it is our basically a health potion that regenerates you pretty quick. Now, what's neat is that depending on what creed you're in, which you see I had a choice of 3 there, you get a different healing item. And they mostly do the same thing, but it's just cool that they're all unique items. I kind of like that. It makes the creed thing a lot more in-depth than just a shallow surface aesthetic thing. And bottles are messages, and some of them are made from the devs, and some are left by you, your own player, other people. And I like that. This game doesn't have PvP, so I welcome the multiplayer component in the game. And already we got a Metroidvania style because we see this door locked, can't get into it, come back maybe another time. And it gets a lot more in-depth than that, actually surprisingly so. And another reason why I want to explain that it's not just a knockoff or anything. Absolutely not. It's totally its own thing, and I gotta definitely applaud you for that. Great friend, advance. See, when I first got here, it said death ahead, stay away. And I like that a lot better in immersion sense. But I'm pretty sure the people hanging there are fellow players that passed away at this place because they change. And I think that's a really neat aspect. So let's go to the next area. We have the Festering Banquet. And I love places that have areas and it's a gigantic map that's all interconnected. That's the Metroidvania style. And this game, I don't know why I haven't purchased this game earlier. It's just absolutely fantastic. So for people that have never seen this game, you're in for a treat because I'm going to take you along the ride. And the game can get kind of frustrating. And it's not super easy. But if you are a veteran of games that are like this, and namely that's the Souls series, then you know what the game expects and that you can't just mash buttons and go through. Although you do mash buttons a lot. Because since it's a 2D game, there's only so much depth to the combat, but there actually is a surprising amount, and I like that. I also have only played this game and beaten it one time using a build that I usually do for all games like this, and that is simply a great sword with heavy armor, and that can move pretty quickly. And it's fun, but for this game, I believe it's a bit overpowered because I found the game to be a little too easy. In fact, I find myself literally saying the words, quote, pathetic, as I do the final blow on what could be possibly very tough bosses. So I don't want to be able to say that when I fight bosses. I want to be more like, oh man, I just made it. That's what I want to hear. So I'm thinking that we're going to go with a dex build, but even further, we're going to go with a dex build that uses daggers. As an offset to the dagger, we're going to use flintlock pistols, because that sounds kind of neat. And apparently that's the Bloodborne style. I haven't played Bloodborne because of the exclusive nature of it, but maybe someday. Another thing that enemies do in this game, and I guess it's smart for a 2D game, is that they turn around and run away from you if you try to approach them right away and start attacking them, because a lot of things can be hit stunned, and if they run away from you, they kind of get an extra edge, an advantage, and I like that they did that because that makes sense, and it really does work. It looks stupid that they run away from you for a second, but it's kind of like a tactical decision if you think of it that way. So I'm kind of going on cruise control here, just running around, but it's basically minor exploration. Actually, it's a lot of exploration. Picking up little loot items. Some items are taunting and a little dangerous to grab, and others are kind of just sitting there. And one thing I don't like is that the loot is labeled on the bottom left corner really quickly, and that's the only time to know that you got something. So I wish it was a little more intrusive, but at the same time, usually intrusiveness for UI is bad, so I can't completely complain. But alright, we got the rogue stuff, and I'm pretty sure that the rogue stuff is what we're wearing right now, and it is actually. So I picked the thief class because although classes aren't very important, you can close yourself into a leveling trap where you are kind of stuck with what the build you made or a build that's not completely strong. There is some refund points, but they're not limited, and I really, really enjoy that aspect. So we do have a little bit of wiggle room, I guess. I don't know what I'm talking about. I gotta keep an eye on my health, though. It's pretty minimal there. I also changed my control to use health to left bumper instead of right bumper because the Xbox One controllers, I think, are notoriously bad for their terrible plastic bumpers. It's pretty bad quality. It was less than a year that it started going bad, and I actually, unfortunately, I still want to get a new one then because it's unparalleled in terms of the UI, in terms of the control feel, I guess, but it's still annoying. Holy shit, that guy hurts. I'm not invincible. Too used to play another game. Whoa, buddy. Yeah, and the dagger also has some pretty sweet moves. I actually kind of like that. With the greatsword, you pretty much literally just swipe, 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 swipe. And that was entertaining, but I was killing things in one hit, left and right. It was just ridiculous. So instead, I like being able to do a little more quick damage and actually feel like I'm actually damaging some enemies. So let's create a shortcut in case we lose, which is totally likely to happen. And this is locked? Yes. And it doesn't tell you what key you need, and it's another complaint I have. At the same time, there is a threshold, I think, of ambiguity and actually just outright confusing the player intentionally. And I think this game does a little bit of both. But these are mini shrines. You can't level up or do anything with it, but you can save, and it's your checkpoint, and also restore your health. So that's nice. At the same time, of course, when you do that, you yeah, you can see how people died, which is they fell off. And these things probably say, a lot of times, the last time I got here, a message said to jump, secret, and I didn't believe them because there was tombstones. And when you break the tombstones, it shows you how they died. So the bloodstain feature, basically. So another thing I like here is really cool. I didn't notice at first is that this little candle here, this candle, what do they call it? That's another fancy word for a set of candles. I'll remember it next time. They have candles lit, and depending on how many candles lit is the win-loss ratio of the recent players that attempted the boss, because this means there's a boss coming, and it's very subtle. 0 out of 10 lit means that I believe that is it a no-bot person has beat this, or has every person beat it out of the last 10? It's something like that. So consider that if there was like 2 lit, only 2, yeah. So none lit means I think that 0 out of 10 people pass this boss. And this boss for the first one is not that easy. So we're going to see what we can do here. Let's fight the first boss. Here we go. already a much more satisfying fight. That was really fun. I let my guard down near the end there, thinking that I'd get more hits in, and look what happened. I was forced to start healing, backing away. That is what I want to play, and I did not do that even this early in the game on my other playthrough. So this is awesome. So for someone else to coming in, they should see 1 out of 10 candles. The next person in my peer-to-peer or whatever IP pool, if that's exactly how it does it. I'm an IT guy, and I'm totally just making things up. All right, so we got, like I said, this is very a little tough. Oh, whoa, hey. Okay. It's a little confusing, but luckily now that I've got used to the game, it's a little not as bad. But we have 4 keys. The fortress key, a key dropped by the sodden knight, and that's all. If you didn't know that door was locked, you're gonna have to really do some blind exploration, and that's fine. It really is. But some parts where you get a key, you're like, what does this open? And it's a little rough. But for us, we're good. Sure. Yeah, sure. Yep. Okay. Yes, rumor monger. So this guy is, I mean, basically these are like little quest lines. They're really dumb, to be honest, but we'll do them all. It shouldn't be too difficult, I don't think. But what he's saying is that to get over to the castle, where you kind of assume where princesses are kept, I guess. I like how they do this trope of finding the princess. It really has nothing to do with that, and you should be able to guess that by now. It's not that shallow. But if we keep going, they say that to get to this castle, it's easier to go underneath to a village and go bypass that way. And of course, it's kind of hinting of where you really need to go. But we want a shrine first. Yep, Devara. Yeah, we actually, this is a cleric, I guess, and we are actually in Devara's bullshit. Don't really care about Devara, but like I said, I want to be able to buy the pistol right away. So we're going to do that here by... actually, we're going to wait until I get to another shrine that I find it'd be more worthwhile to use. Well, fuck it. Let's do the stone blacksmith. They're actually kind of rare. So what I like about these shrines is that you can add by using your stone idols, stone objects, and you can add to the shrine to a max of like 4 or 5. And there's blacksmiths, different types of people. And not only do they give you their services, but for instance, now that this blacksmith is here, anywhere in the bandit's pass, I do more attack damage by default. And that goes with shield damage, magic protection, magic damage, depending on who you bring in. So with the cleric here, I get prayer bonus, but I'm not a cleric, so it doesn't matter. Alright, need some smithing? No, I just want to be able to buy the flintlock pistol right away. There you go. Otherwise, you have to level up in the other creeds, or you have to wait much later in the game to get the pistol. And that is an integral part of our arsenal, so I think we're going to go ahead and just buy it. So we need still a little bit more money, just 100 more. So I need to be able to sell items, so we're going to get the stone merchant. Of course, they made sure to give you the necessities right away, but you don't want to use these stone items just willy-nilly because it gets annoying near the end. So let's see, what can we sell? The pitchfork and my shield. I don't believe in shields. No, don't sell the amber. Don't sell that. Okay. So I still don't have... Oh, I do have enough. Just barely enough so I can buy the flintlock. I can't do anything with it until I get more ammo. Or ammo for it, but still. You also need a leveling up of class 1 flintlock. So we will level up next time, guys. I hope you enjoy the trip through Sultan Sanctuary with me, Blattymeow.